This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Hurricane Beryl intensifies to Category 4, targets Caribbean with threats to Barbados, Jamaica, and Mexico. Hurricane Beryl is forecast to become a powerful Category 4 storm as it approaches the southeast Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center has warned of life-threatening storm surge of up to 9 feet in areas where Beryl will make landfall, with up to 6 inches of rain expected for Barbados and nearby islands. The storm is currently located about 465 miles east-southeast of Barbados and is moving west at 21 miles per hour. It is expected to pass just south of Barbados early Monday and then head into the Caribbean Sea as a major hurricane on a path toward Jamaica and eventually Mexico. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Measles alert. Tracking exposure from New Hampshire to Logan Airport with Dartmouth coach. Health officials in Massachusetts and New Hampshire are warning residents about potential exposure to measles after an international traveler tested positive for the disease. The traveler visited multiple public locations on June 22, including a Dartmouth coach bus from Hanover, New Hampshire to Logan Airport in Boston and Terminal E at Logan Airport. The person also visited Hanover, New Hampshire from June 20 to 22. Measles is a highly contagious airborne disease that can cause fever, cough, runny nose, and red eyes, with a rash appearing on the skin several days later. People who are not vaccinated are at greater risk of infection. Officials are urging those who may have been exposed to check their vaccination status and take precautions to prevent the spread of the disease. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Biden's battle for donor confidence. Amid election pressures and calls for change, President Joe Biden looked to recapture his mojo and reassure donors that he is fully up to the challenge of beating Donald Trump. The 81-year-old's troubling performance at the first presidential debate rattled many Democrats who see Trump as an existential threat to U.S. democracy. Biden's meandering answers and struggles to respond to Trump prompted the New York Times editorial board to declare that he should exit the race. Despite this, Biden flashed more vigor in speeches in North Carolina and New York, saying he believes with all my heart and soul that he can do the job of the presidency. The Biden campaign has raised more than $27 million on Thursday and Friday, including $3 million, at a New York City fundraiser focused on the LGBTQ+ community. Democratic donors across New York, Southern California, and Silicon Valley privately expressed deep concerns about the viability of Biden's campaign. Some donors noted they were going to pause their personal giving, while others advocated for a wait-and-see approach. Amid calls for him to step down, some donors are actively pushing for a new nominee, highlighting the urgency of the situation with just over 4 months until the election. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Uvaldi families react as ex-police chief Arredondo faces charges. Families of the Uvaldi massacre victims have expressed mixed emotions following the arrest of former Robb Elementary School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo. He was indicted on 10 counts of endangering children due to delays in providing care and protection to surviving schoolchildren. The families affected by the incident are seeking more accountability and justice. While some see the arrest as a step towards accountability, others view it as a reminder of the painful events that unfolded. The families are demanding more indictments and convictions, stressing that it is just the beginning of seeking true justice for all of the lives lost. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Republican Party Simplifies platform in alignment with Trump's vision ahead of Milwaukee convention. The Republican Party is gearing up to craft a new platform ahead of the upcoming Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. The party's current platform, which spans over 60 pages, is expected to be significantly simplified and streamlined. This move is aimed at making the party's policy commitments more clear, concise, and easily digestible for every voter. The decision to simplify the platform comes as a response to the criticism that previous platforms were excessively lengthy and influenced by special interests. The new platform is expected to reflect President Donald Trump's vision for America's future, which emphasizes a retreat from global leadership and protectionist trade policies. The process of developing the new platform is being overseen by individuals like Randy Evans, Russell Vought, and Ed Martin, who have varying stances on issues like abortion and presidential power. Some social conservatives have expressed concerns that the platform may soften its stance on critical issues like abortion. The new platform is expected to be a succinct document that aligns with Trump's political stances. The decision to simplify the platform has sparked disagreements among conservatives and party members accustomed to debating its content. The platform committee meetings have been televised in the past, but this year's meeting will be held privately to reduce public attention to the process. The new platform is expected to reflect Trump's America First agenda, advocating for a retreat from global leadership and endorsing protectionist trade policies. This stance, coupled with proposed tariffs and immigration crackdowns, could have significant economic repercussions. The platform also reflects skepticism towards international cooperation, particularly on issues like climate change, and a willingness to scale back U.S. involvement in global affairs. This shift towards reactionary populism entails a nostalgic longing for past eras and a focus on blame rather than problem-solving. While appealing to Trump's ardent supporters, this platform neglects the broader interests of Americans and lacks a forward-looking vision to address current challenges. It embodies a pessimistic outlook on the nation's future, emphasizing division over unity. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. SpaceX soars with NROL 186. Launching the future of surveillance with NRO and Northrop Grumman, SpaceX launched the NROL 186 mission for the National Reconnaissance Office on June 28, 2024, from Space Launch Complex 4 East at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The Falcon 9 rocket lifted off at 11:14 p.m. Eastern, marking the second batch of satellites for the NRO's proliferated constellation. The number of satellites was not disclosed. Just over 8 minutes after liftoff, the first stage booster landed on the drone ship Of Course I Still Love You, marking the company's 326th booster landing to date. The NRO designs and operates classified U.S. government surveillance and intelligence satellites. The NROL 186 mission is part of the NRO's new imaging satellite constellation, built by SpaceX and Northrop Grumman. The constellation is designed for capability and resilience, with numerous smaller satellites replacing traditional big, highly capable spacecraft. The NRO plans to launch approximately half a dozen more missions in 2024, with additional launches expected through 2028. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. WestJet strikes turbulence. Mechanics walkout sparks massive flight cancellations despite government directive. WestJet, Canada's second-largest airline, has cancelled at least 150 flights affecting 20,000 passengers after the Union of Maintenance Workers announced a surprise strike. The Aircraft Mechanics Fraternal Association, AMFA, started the strike on Friday evening, citing the airline's unwillingness to negotiate with the union. Despite a government directive for binding arbitration, WestJet ignored the order and cancelled flights. The strike has affected international and domestic flights, particularly during the Canada Day long weekend. WestJet's CEO, Diederik Penn, expressed outrage and blamed the union for the unnecessary stress and costs. The airline is working to mitigate flight disruptions and provide alternative travel arrangements to affected passengers. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Iran's pivotal election. Pezeshkian versus Jalili in the race to succeed late President Raisi. Iranians are voting in a presidential election to replace the late President Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash in May. The election offers a choice between hardline contenders and Masoud Pezeshkian, a relatively unknown figure within Iran's reformist movement. Pezeshkian, a heart surgeon, pledged to pursue friendly relations with Western nations, despite facing veiled warnings from Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, regarding ties with the United States. The election lacks oversight from international monitors and has been marked by low turnout, with only 24 million out of approximately 60 million eligible voters participating. The turnout is a historic low, driven by a mix of apathy and opposition to the clerical establishment. Despite this, Pezeshkian emerged as the frontrunner with nearly 10.5 million votes, and will compete against conservative Said Jalili in a runoff election scheduled for next Friday. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Historic highs in French elections, national rallies surge and high voter turnout. France is voting in a parliamentary election that could make history, with the far right closer to power than it has ever been in modern times. The National Rally, RN, of Marine Le Pen and Jordan Bardella are well ahead in the polls, with over 2.6 million people registered to vote by proxy, indicating a high turnout expected. This is a two-round election, and most of the National Assembly's 577 seats will not be decided until the second-round runoff vote next Sunday. The campaign only lasted 20 days, and that also benefited RN, which quickly refined its existing promises on immigration, insecurity, as well as tax cuts to tackle the cost of living crisis. Jordan Bardella wants to be RN's first prime minister, and his party is confident of winning dozens of constituencies outright in the first round. But he says he will only take the job if the party secures an absolute parliamentary majority of 289 seats. The alternative would be a hung parliament and stalemate. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Reform UK ousts 3 controversial candidates amidst election turmoil. Reform UK has dropped 3 of its candidates following reports they had made offensive or racist comments. The affected candidates are Edward Oakenfold in Derbyshire Dales, Robert Lomas in Barnsley North, and Leslie Lilly in Southend East and Rochford. Despite this action, they will still be listed as Reform candidates on the ballot paper, as it is too late to withdraw them. If any of the 3 are elected, they will serve as independent MPs. The comments made by these candidates have stirred controversy. Oakenfold had posted derogatory comments about the IQ of sub-Saharan Africans on social media, which he claimed were taken out of context. Lomas reportedly said black people should get off their lazy asses and stop acting like savages. Lilly described people arriving on small boats as scum, and added that he hoped their families would be robbed, beaten, or attacked. Reform UK has faced scrutiny over its candidate selection process, with several instances of offensive social media posts coming to light. The party attributes this to a lack of thorough vetting by a hired company before the election was called. Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, has distanced himself from the candidates, saying he wants nothing to do with them. He has also criticized the comments made by some of his party members, calling them reprehensible. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. California budget earmarks $12 million for reparations. A step forward or just a drop in the ocean? California's recent budget agreement sets aside $12 million for reparations programs aimed at helping black residents. This allocation is a modest start, considering a significant report from a California task force last year recommended reparations amounting to hundreds of billions of dollars. The budget does not include immediate cash payments, but instead proposes state funding contingent on lawmakers' agreement on initial measures to address historical injustices faced by black Californians. Some lawmakers view this allocation as a positive step, particularly considering the state's efforts to address a significant budget deficit. Assemblywoman Lori D. Wilson, a Democrat leading the Legislative Black Caucus, expressed optimism about the budget inclusion, emphasizing the importance of being heard. The budget also includes proposals to establish a California American Freedmen Affairs Agency and give priority to black individuals for professional licenses, especially those with enslaved ancestors. Additionally, a proposal to amend the state constitution to prohibit involuntary servitude, even for state prisoners, will be on the November ballot as part of a reparations initiative introduced by the Black Caucus in January. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Sticking with Biden. Democrats rally despite debate challenges. Clyburn and Pelosi show support. Disappointed Democrats stick with Biden after rough debate performance. Despite concerns over President Biden's hoarse voice, stumbling speech, and occasional lapses in coherence, many Democratic lawmakers remain supportive. Longtime Biden ally Representative Jim Clyburn likened the debate to strike one in a baseball game, emphasizing that there are more opportunities ahead. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi echoed similar sentiments, contrasting Biden's integrity with Trump's dishonesty during the debate. Former President Obama reinforced the message, emphasizing the election's choice between a candidate dedicated to the people and one driven by self-interest and falsehoods. While some Democrats were critical, others like Representative Tom Suozzi and Senator Jeanne Shaheen expressed uncertainty about Biden's future. The White House confirmed Biden's cold during the debate as nothing unusual, with the campaign reiterating its support for Biden and dismissing any notions of him stepping aside. Addressing supporters in North Carolina, Biden candidly admitted his shortcomings, but affirmed his commitment to honesty and the truth. Despite some Democrats initially suggesting he withdraw from the re-election race, support for Biden remains steady among major donors. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. Iran warns of obliterating war with Israel over Hezbollah attacks. Iran's UN mission has threatened an obliterating war if Israel launches a full-scale attack on Hezbollah in Lebanon. The warning came after the Israeli Defense Forces hit several Hezbollah targets in retaliation to the group's barrage of rockets launched on northern Israel. Iran sees Israeli threats as psychological warfare, but warned that if Israel embarks on full-scale military aggression, an obliterating war will ensue. The statement emphasized that all options, including the full involvement of all resistance fronts, are on the table. The situation remains volatile, with both sides emphasizing readiness for potential conflict while expressing hopes for diplomatic resolutions. This is the news for today, Saturday, June 29, 2024. India triumphs over South Africa in ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 final. The Indian national cricket team has won the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024, defeating South Africa by 7 runs in a thrilling final at the Kensington Oval in Bridgetown, Barbados. The match saw India post a challenging target of 176 for 7, which South Africa failed to achieve, finishing at 169 for 8. Virat Kohli played a crucial role in India's victory, scoring 76 off 59 balls, while Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah took 3 and 2 wickets respectively. This is India's second T20 World Cup title, and their first world title in 12 years.